right, so why don't we get started? I see people are still joining us. First, I wanted to, first of all, thank you. I know everyone has very busy schedules, so I wanted to first say thank you for taking time out today to join us for the Black Public Defender Association Lunch and Learn. This is our first opportunity to actually host a webinar to talk about the Black Public Defender Association and share with you what our mission and goals are, but to also hear from you about ideas and questions that you may have about the association. So, just to give you a roadmap of where we're going today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about um, why the Black Public Defender Association was created and share with you some of the mission and the goals and also some information about our programming. So why was BPDA created? It was created out of a recognition that we thought it was very important to have highly skilled and trained Black public defenders represent clients in our community. As we all know, African Americans are overly represented in the criminal justice system. And thus, it is very important for clients as they go up against the system to see people who look like them and who share lived experiences actually be a part of their team or be a leader in fighting for their liberty and their rights. And that motivated a group of about 12 to 15 people a year and a half ago to come together and actually create the Black Public Defenders Association. So we also created the Black Public Defenders Association because we thought it was really important to have a space where we could pay tribute to Black public defenders who have played a critical role in shaping America's history, but also the history of the justice system. So not only are we looking to pay it forward, but we're also looking at a way and an opportunity for us to actually have a space to celebrate the amazing Black talent that we see within the public defender community. BPDA membership is open to current and former public defenders. And I think that's a really important point to stress because we get a lot of questions about who can join. And we want to make it very clear that we actually, this organization is open to former public defenders as well as people who are currently in the trenches doing the work. It's also open to, when we talk about public defenders, we're referring to private attorneys too, who may be doing court appointed representation, who represent low income clients. It is also open to social workers, investigators, and other advocates. We're talking about paralegals and other people who we know, if you work in a public defender's office, oftentimes they keep the work going behind the scenes and very rarely get the credit, but they do amazing work on behalf of our clients. And BPDA is inclusive of all of those types of advocates. We also are open to attorneys who do policy and criminal justice reform work to improve public defense. So what does that mean? We're referring to our brothers and sisters who are at NAACP Legal Defense Fund, other nonprofits who are fighting on a policy front or systemic litigation perspective to change the criminal justice system. We're also referring to our client community who are also leading the fight to reform the laws in criminal justice and to improve public defense. So this includes advocates of all types who are working to improve public defense. The only exclusion that we have is that if you work in one of those capacities, you cannot currently be employed for law enforcement or prosecution. So if you are a former public defender, but now you've moved on to be a prosecutor or to work for the police department, you are not eligible for BPDA membership. So the tenets behind, we wanted to just share with you very briefly because I'm very conscious of the time and I want to make sure we have time for Q&A. We have 4 tenets around our goals and the mission. Number 1 is leadership. At the Black Public Defenders Association, we think it's very important for African Americans to be in leadership roles within public defender offices. And this is a picture of Martessa Johnson from Nashville, Tennessee, who's the first elected African American female public defender in Tennessee. And the unfortunate part is that we see too few people of color in leadership roles in public defense, and we want to do something to change that narrative. Training. A key component of the Black Public Defenders Association is to actually train Black public defenders on excellent advocacy skills in the courtroom, but to also train us on how to be effective in transformational leaders. So I'll talk to you a little bit today about this summer in our training conference that's going to be focused on skills-based training and also leadership and professional development. So our training is focused on two tracks. This is a picture of Heather Pickney. Many of you all know who we refer to affectionately as HP, who does a lot of work in our community around skills-based training. And she is the director of training for BPDA. Support. How many people, if you can tell me in the chat menu, how many people were in the room in Houston when we officially launched the Black Public Defender Association? This is a picture of that room, and when I think about support, I actually think about the experience in Houston because it was an amazing energy, just having us all together in the room to talk about issues facing Black public defenders and how important it is for us to support each other. So you all were in the room. So when we talk about support, you know the amazing feeling that we were able to experience when we all came together in Houston. And that's a large part of what we want to continue to create at BPDA. It's that community where you can go to and you can actually breathe and talk about issues that people have a shared lived experience with you about. This is a picture of Kier Bradford Gray, but just the whole idea of, as Black public defenders, we want to inspire other people to want to do this work, but also to want to improve the conditions facing our clients in the criminal legal system. So, so our tenets are lead, train, support, and inspire. Upcoming programs. We are currently working on a schedule of events that's going to include spring networking events in Washington, D.C. and in New York City. We hope to also expand that. I see Theo from New Orleans. We're looking to host it in different cities. And so a part of our outreach today is to hear from people from different areas to see if you're interested in hosting a local event in your area. We want to attract people from all over the country, and the more that we can reach out to people on the West Coast or in the South, and we're able to get a diverse membership. So this is, these events should be finalized in the next few weeks. We're looking at dates in March and April to do spring networking events. We're going to also host a webinar or maybe a Facebook Live session for law students to really, Black law students who are going to be interning in public defender offices, to talk about how to succeed at a public defender office internship. And that's something that we heard from some law student members that they thought would be helpful. And then finally, how many people received the information already about the summer conference in Baltimore? You should have received the email. It went out last week and this week about the upcoming summer conference in Baltimore, but it's going to be amazing on June 6th and 7th in Baltimore, Maryland. So enough of me hearing my own voice. I want to talk about how will we achieve all of these objectives. long story short, the members, people who are on this call, people who are interested in making sure the organization is a success, are the ones who will make sure that we are able to achieve these goals. And so I want to stop there and hear from you all about ideas, questions, um, and and to really talk and see if you have any questions about um, what I already covered. But also, I wanted to hear ideas. You saw some of the programming that we have planned for the first part of the year, but we wanted to see if there's some new ideas that we could hear from you all. So, I see some emails. Janice is taking notes. I see emails on here about adding. Julie, I see your email about add us to your email listserv. I will be sure to do that. Um, and yes, and also from Godfrey, I'll send you. We'll send you the information about the summer conference. Okay. So I want to open it up to questions, ideas, or comments. Okay, you'll like to see more frequent communications. Okay, via listserv. One thing we did recently send out a BPDA newsletter, and that went out to our paid members. So one way we are really approaching this from two angles. One is sending out promotional materials to recruit people to join, and then um, the other component is trying to keep our members updated as well. So just trying to figure out a healthy balance to that approach. But I definitely agree. And Curtis, we want to recruit you for you to help us with this, with creating these communications. History is critical to any organization's future path. Thank you for sharing. No problem. We really wanted to make sure that people understand um, how we got started and what the goals are, but we also want to encourage new people to join us and to help the organization grow. So I have a question. How can others get more involved on a leadership level with the organization? That's a great question. Right now, we have a leadership team of about, I think it's 8 to 10 people who were a part of the steering committee, and a few new people who have joined us since the launch to chair different committees. So, and maybe I should enter this into the chat menu. So as I talk, I will also type the response to this. Um, so we have a membership and recruitment committee. We also have a training, and that's focused on more skills based training, and that's Heather Pigney. And we also have professional development and leadership committee. We also have um, a policy and advocacy committee, and Shakisha Robinson, who is on the webinar, she is the leader of that committee. And I'm trying to see if marketing and communication. And that's where, Curtis, we would love to have you join us. That's where we really need to figure out a regular structure on how we communicate with members. And the Facebook and social media accounts have been pretty active, but we want to improve even our outreach to people who are not members. So we would love to have you join us. Is there anyone else on the call who maybe have an interest in one of these areas and may be interested in joining those committees? So Julia, she said, I'm a new public defender in Brooklyn, and there's quite a few new Black attorneys that were hired in my class. I would like to build on the excitement and momentum that we have as new PDs and get them involved in organizations that help uplift us. What can I do to rally the troops around joining BPDA? So Julia, we can reach out to you specifically around some ideas. One thing is to get them connected. So Portia Venable is a co-chair of the Membership and Recruitment Committee, and she specifically is organizing a networking event in New York City. And so you should definitely reach out to Portia and we can put you in contact with her. But she's planning some local events. And that would be um, the place and the opportunity for you to connect those new public defenders in a space and to continue that excitement and momentum. But also, I'm happy to talk to you offline. Julia, one thing I want to say about something for you to think about is the beauty behind it is also being connected with mentors and other people who can help you all. Some people, for new defenders, it's a lot of challenges that you may face, and you'll find it internally, but also to talk to other Black public defenders who may have traveled a similar road could be very helpful to your not only you being a great attorney, but also your professional development. So, Theo, he asks, what are the current topics for the BPDA conference? Great question. What topic ideas are you interested in? So we're about to send out, one of the reasons we did this webinar as well is because we're about to send out a request for proposals. So it will go out to everyone who registered here and also people who are on our mailing list, where you can actually present a proposal to present at the BPDA conference. Right now, our focus is on 3 tracks. The first one is skills based, and a lot of that content is being developed by Heather Pickney. Like, how do you cross? How do you, the theory of the case, all of the stuff for you to be excellent in the courtroom. The second area is leadership and professional development. What does that mean? How do you begin to think about whether you want to become a chief public defender or you want to become a executive director of a impact organization, for you to begin to think about what leadership role you want to play in the public defender space, and to think about those questions really like Julia, like when you first come on board, for you to think, hey, one day I want to be running a public defender office, or either I want to create another organization that works on X, Y, and Z. But for you to think ahead about those questions and to position yourself to be able to transition into those leadership roles. And then the third area, we really, of course, want to talk about race, implicit bias, and this issue of self-care from the standpoint of what does it mean to do this work and to represent clients every day who are from your community, and what do we need to do to recharge and to be able to be excellent but also take care of ourselves at the same time. So those are some topics, but you'll see it's a list of about 6 different topics that you can choose from on the request for proposal link, and see if you have an idea or a panel that you would like to share with the attendees at the conference. Beyond just the actual conference, the summer conference, are there any other programs or initiatives that you would like to see the Black Public Defender Office, the Black Public Defender Association take on? For example, mentoring. We've been approached by different organizations about mentoring high school students and college students to actually create the pipeline to bring more African Americans into the field of public defense. And that's one example that we are trying to see if our membership could support. But are there other ideas or programs that or initiatives that you would like to see us tackle? Okay, great. Yes. How to become judges, how to advance in your career. Yes. We we would like to tackle that issue at the summer conference. And what we have in mind is having a panel discussion with a diverse group of former public defenders who are in different roles, from judges to law professors to executive directors to chief defenders, to really expose the group to the diversity of leadership opportunities that you can have. Yeah, and even local politics. And I know some current former public defenders who are city council members or school board, who are taking on different roles, even, creators of new schools, and the DA office. Um, we're toying with whether or not that'll be at our first meeting to talk about it, but we know former public defenders who are running for district attorney to reform the criminal justice system, and so we can definitely talk about that. Um, yeah, we can definitely talk about that and get people's response to it. All right. Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate. I know everybody has really busy schedules, so thank you. We want to do we want to do this on a more regular basis. Just create 30 minutes. I want to be true to our time and to keep and for us to end on time, but to really have a regular way to interact with you all and get feedback. So as we prepare for our upcoming summer conference, you will receive an invitation to submit a request for proposals if you have any ideas that you would like to present on. In addition, look out for our upcoming networking events this spring in New York and in DC. If you're outside of those communities and you're interested in hosting a local networking event, please feel free to email me. So I'm a.kamara@nlada.org. And also, you can also reach out to Janice Harris, who is j.harris at nlada.org. And we will also, thank you so much. We will also send out membership applications. One thing to encourage you to go ahead and join before the summer conference, you have to be a member um, in order for you to get the discounted rate to attend the conference. So it's a little, it's a motivation for you to join before this summer where you can get the lower rate. Um, so we will definitely, um, in the chat, we will email everyone um, the membership applications, but we'll also post it on our Facebook page, um, the information for you to join. All right. Well, thank you all so much. And I look forward to seeing you all hopefully before June if you're able to come and join us at one of the local networking events. But feel free to reach out to myself or Janice if you have questions about the Black Public Defenders Association. All right. Well, go forth and be great. And I hope you have a great weekend.